Okay guys, welcome back to the Interloper playthrough of The Long Dark. This is Runyon. We're just going to jump straight into the game here, and we were at a fishing cabin on Coastal Highway. We just got to this region and we're going to explore some today and see what we can find out in the cabins on the ice. But it sounds like right now we're in a blizzard, so we're going to have to do some things around here first. Stay indoors for a little while. Alright, we've almost run the night out, and we're finally out of that blizzard. Let's eat and drink. And now we're gonna check, well, first we're gonna sleep a ways to get into the daytime. Alright, now we should be good to go. A bit lower on water than I'd like, but that's no problem. Let's harvest some cloth. No, we won't do that because I have 7 and that's plenty. Okay, so we're on day 5 here. Just looking at the journal, we're on day 5 and we're to Coastal Highway, which is pretty decent. Kind of cool how they did the journal in this game. It shows you every location you visited based on the day, and it shows you like basically your progress per day, which is pretty cool. But just gonna look around and make sure that I explored everything. I'm pretty sure I did in the last video though. Let's go ahead and leave the cabin and see what we can find in Coastal Highway. Now look in these other cabins. No, it doesn't look like it. I see a few things here. A can of peaches, a soda, and painkillers. Painkillers aren't that common. You find them occasionally, but they're more common than, say, a fire striker, but they're one of the less common items you'll find in Interloper, in my experience. Checking under the bed to make sure there's nothing down there, and we'll go and hit the other cabin next to us. Oh, sewing kit, good. And metal container, which, yep, just like usual, contains nothing. What I'm going to do this run, probably, guys, is just focus on the Misanthrope's house and the Jack Rabbit Island, the house there. I don't know if it has another name besides that. I think maybe those houses don't have the names. I think the island has those names. So I'll check those out, and then I'm going to eventually make my way to the coastal town site. The coastal town site is very risky in Interloper. You can have 2 to 4 wolves wandering around in there at various times. One way I found to sort of gauge whenever that's going to be the case is to look at whether the wolves are on the ice or not. Kind of observe their spawn pattern. And if they're out on the ice, then usually they're not in the town site. Let's go over here and check out this corpse. There's always a corpse here, and should be able to get me a few feathers as well. I don't see feathers, but maybe not. Nothing. Okay, we're also gonna hit these fishing huts. And I'm gonna run a bit just to kind of speed this up. Nothing on the top shelf up there. Nothing in that hut. Kind of hard to keep track of which huts you've checked and which ones you haven't later on in the game. Sometimes I'll run across one that I hadn't seen. And there will be stuff in it. And since they all look identical, you kind of have to try to remember what locations that you've looked for them in. Although a few of them have doors, so those are easy to kind of differentiate from the others. I don't know if any of the ones in Coastal Highway have the door though. Oh, speaking of the devil right there. That may be the only one though in this region that has a door. Okay, nothing in here. It's very foggy. I really hate the fog. This isn't that severe, but when the fog is really heavy, you cannot see 100 yards ahead of you, and you will, or maybe even 50 yards ahead of you, and you will be susceptible to triggering a wolf. So I recommend, if you can avoid it, do not travel in heavy fog. So let's go up on this island. Kinda lost track of where I am. I'm not sure if this is Misanthrope or the Jackrabbit Island. See, there's some lichen hanging off the trees over there. And it is Jackrabbit. Jackrabbit's a good place to plant snares, which we will craft in a little while here. But yeah, great place for that. You usually catch a rabbit in less than a day sometimes. It's pretty cool the way that works. You can catch rabbits really quickly on this island. And this island's relatively safe. Wolves do not usually travel around it. Nothing in the front room. Always hope to find some kind of raw meat in these freezers and refrigerators. It's pretty common find in the normal game, anyways. In the lower difficulties, you can find meat in there pretty often. Cabinets. Kind of boring going through these. You rarely find anything, but you know, one cabinet probably has a can of peaches in it, and you don't want to miss out on that, so you have to check all of them. Now, there's a can of peaches on the counter, so I'll just take that here in a second. Just finish off searching these. Oh. Completely bare pantry. I'm gonna break down this toaster just so I can have, and this pot just so I can have some scrap metal to use later when I'm forging. When we get to the forge at a desolation point, it'll be still in a few days, but I'm gonna go ahead and start collecting the metal for that now. I don't want to spend a lot of time once I'm there breaking down metal. Let's collect toilet water. Medicine cabinet, nah, nothing. I think I pretty much fully searched that house. Barely found anything. I did find one can of peaches. Not sure if I found anything else in there. And there's some berries here. I'm gonna go ahead and get those. Rose hips. And let's go check out the corpse down here on these rocks. When you're not in interloper mode, I think a rifle can spawn here next to this guy. He apparently was a hunter from the town that got stuck out in the cold during... Most likely there was some kind of severe blizzard right after the electromagnetic storm happened. Just sort of inferring what I think may be possible based on the game story that's been revealed so far. By the way, guys, it was kind of a disappointment that we did not get more out of this countdown from Hinterland. I think they really dropped the ball on it. They should have not had a countdown where you don't have new gameplay on the day the countdown ends, or you don't have anything to do. You just read more news. I mean, I'm glad that story mode's coming within 3 months here, August 1st. But it kind of sucks not to be able to do anything except to read more news about future updates and the story mode. Once the countdown runs out, you expect to be able to do a little bit more, or I do. I don't know what others think, but I think Raphael made a mistake, a misstep, in terms of the core community. But I do believe most of the community will remain intact. I don't think there's going to be a mass exodus. Especially since we do have a big update coming here probably in a couple of weeks. It's going to hit the test branch, and I'll be making videos on that, and we'll probably do a live stream once that content is out. But yeah, Raphael, you need to not do countdowns to nothing again. That's basically crap. But anyways, I've said my piece on that, and I'm still sticking with the game, of course, since I've got so much time invested in it, and I see that they're making progress with it, even if it is slower than I would like them to make. But I'm hoping we can expand this community and get more developers into Hinterland so they can put out content faster. It'd be nice to have a faster pace of these releases, and I know they're planning to get story mode out all the way through episode 5, probably by mid-2018, so that's encouraging. Probably all 5 episodes will have around 20 hours of gameplay, I would guess, based on him saying that episodes 1 and 2 combined have 6 to 10 hours. So it's probably like 20 hours for all 5. More if you're, or less if you're an experienced player. So let's go up here and check out Misanthrope's Island. There's a wolf spawn near here, by the way. You can sometimes run upon a wolf when you're coming into this house. So it's not recommended if you're trying to, like, you're out dying in a blizzard or something and you're just trying to get back to sleep somewhere. That it's a better idea to go to Jackrabbit than to Misanthrope. Found some gloves that were pretty decent. Always like to find the mittens. Any cooked meat in the oven? There pretty much never is cooked meat in the oven in Interloper. So you occasionally find raw meat in the fridge or the freezer, but you never find cooked meat. That would just be too easy. What you can find, though, if you like to do the beachcombing stuff, is there's fish pretty commonly just laying around, especially out in Desolation Point. Not as common here, probably, but yeah, you can find just raw fish laying around sometimes. That even coho salmon you can find, which gives like a ton of calories, and it's a really good thing to do beachcombing if you spawn in Desolation Point and just look to see if there's anything out on the coast. Out on the ice edge near the water, to make sure you don't fall in, but if you're good at it, you can really make out like a bandit sometimes. I would recommend probably only going for high value items. If you see a pair of socks, don't go for that crap. But let's fetch this newspaper. We can use that for Tinder. Oh, a cup of herbal tea already made here. That's nice. Herbal tea is really a good item to have for condition recovery. It's pretty essential in Interloper. I recommend you always cook herbal tea when you find it too, as soon as possible, just so you'll have it in your inventory when you need it. Take a look under the bed here. And pull the water out of the toilet as usual. Come on, medicine shelf, have something. Nah. Nope. I found the painkillers in a cabin, but not in a medicine shelf. I don't know if I found anything in one of those medicine cabinets yet. I think I found something in a first aid kit, but I'm not sure on that either. Let's go ahead and leave this house, and I think we're going to make our way over toward Coastal Highway now. Or rather, sorry, Coastal Town Site. We don't have to make our way to Coastal Highway since this whole region is Coastal Highway. Alright, just kind of looking around here, looking at the shore to see if I can spot any items, just basically exploring a bit. It's still pretty foggy out here. See a deer off in the distance. And there is something here. Looks like a log. Like a cedar log. Let's see how close we have to get before we're on weak ice. Oh, wow. I don't think that's worth going for. That's too far. Pretty sure I would just fall in. Logs are good, but they have to be closer than that. You can't spend that much time on the weak ice. See a sapling there. Birch. Still need to find me a maple sapling to get started on the survival bow as soon as we possibly can here. And 18 Fahrenheit is very favorable weather for traveling in Interloper. If you've only got one down arrow on your warmth meter, you can travel that easy. You get a lot of time from that. More than one, you need to watch it a bit closer, but if it's just like 18, you're doing pretty well for a good while. Although Interloper, it does go down faster, even compared to if you had a single down. Like the same temperature on Stalker, it goes down slower than it does on Interloper. I'm not sure if Stalker goes down. You get colder faster in Stalker than you do in, say, Voyager or Pilgrim. Probably than Pilgrim, but I'm not sure how that works. I know it's much faster in Interloper, that you get cold much faster. Usually when you start a Interloper run, it's very cold. Especially if you're on like Timberwolf Mountain, you start at like 0 degrees and you have triple down arrow on your warmth meter, and you will be freezing in like 1 minute. It's ridiculous. So that's why Timberwolf Mountain is a good spawn, but it's critical for you to find the cabin, the Mountaineer's cabin, or Mountaineer's hut, as soon as possible. You have to know where you are in relation to that. because you will die of the cold really fast if you don't find it. Alright, it's very windy now. We're no longer 18, I'm sure, on the feels like temp. But yeah, now we're gonna just walk into kind of looking at how much wood I have there. But we're gonna walk into coastal town side here in a second. Actually, the reason I'd walked over here was to check to see if there's green maple saplings, because there's a spawn point for those in the corner of this map. Near where it connects to the crumbling highway. Like in that corner over there, there's a possible 2 maple saplings that spawn there, but they're not here in this game. We're freezing, so I was just trying to drop as much weight as possible so I can move a bit. I can actually run now. That's good. And we're going to try to avoid any wolves coming into here. I don't know where the wolves are right now. I didn't see many out on the ice. So that makes me a little concerned coming in here. Oh, we got a bear up ahead. We're gonna have to go around him. There's no possible way I can attack him with anything at this point. Let's kind of jog down here and get onto the ice, and we'll come into coastal town side from the backside. You can see that pier straight across. That's where it is. That's where we're headed. Man, I see a ton of deer walking around out here on the ice, but no wolves. Looks like they should be having a feeding frenzy out here with all these deer. I hate walking against the wind. It's so slow. Well guys, I was going to put up a video a couple of days ago, and I realized I said that in my last video, but kind of in the process of moving to another house right now, so it's kind of been a busy week. Haven't had a lot of time to do the recordings. But I'm going to try to put out, you know, several episodes consecutively here, so I can kind of make up for what I had. And there is one wolf out on the ice. And we're gonna go for the Quonset hut once we get into the coastal town site. That's gonna be our final destination for today. I've been freezing for a while now. I've lost a significant amount of condition from this. But the developers did adjust freezing conditions, so and with the last update that came onto the Long Dark, they adjust freezing conditions so that it doesn't It doesn't lead to hypothermia as fast, but now you have to worry about frostbite. But I'm good with that because I have a hat and gloves on, so I can't get frostbite. But hypothermia takes a long time to set in, which is nice because it completely ruins your run a lot of the time. It's a deer carcass here, but it's not in an environment that I can harvest it right now. It's just too windy and cold to do it. Can't build a fire next to it or anything. Okay, I see a wolf kind of off in the distance there, walking between the trees. There's at least one wolf out in the town site. May get a little bit risky here. So let's take a look at this, but we're not going to harvest it. We're going to take the feather though. Wind blasting me. I'm guessing this probably takes place in the Northwest Territories. Somewhere in far northern Canada. Okay, I guess we'll check this house out and then eventually we'll make our way to the Quonset hut. Sometimes I don't know why I bother checking that oven. Run through the cabinets quickly here. Man, this is such poor loot. Oh, there's a can of peaches, nice. And there's a cedar log lying next to the fireplace there. Grab that in a second. Just looking under all the beds and everything, and we'll go ahead and explore in here first. Cabinet door. Oh, a t-shirt, like a worn down t-shirt. That's great. T-shirt's probably the worst thing you can find as far as clothes go. Well, regular socks probably worse. But hey, it would be good if it was your first day, maybe. But I'm definitely past that now. Got me the combat pants on and all that. Building a pretty good clothing set to this point. Let's go ahead and sleep a couple hours to get our warmth back up. And then we'll head to the coastal town site. Or we'll head all the way into it and get to the Quonset. Really hoping maybe the wolf spawn has changed now that I burned 2 hours there sleeping. Maybe I got lucky and the wolves are now on the ice, but let's just look at the town site from this hill. Because I don't see anything moving. Oh, there's a wolf back there and he's headed this way. We have to move pretty fast and get in here. Alright, I think we're good. No, come on. Ugh. He got one strike on me while it was fading out. That happens sometimes, and you notice it says affliction blood loss, but I will check the my health, and there's not going to be that blood loss on there. It's just a phantom thing that happens. Like if you get hit by a wolf when you're entering a building, it won't keep the affliction. It just throws it away for some reason. So you know afflictions. You do take damage, and that's permanent. Like, you don't recover it once you get into the building, but blood loss will just vanish, or anything else that happens there. Some antiseptic is nice. Good find. Bandage. Anything else here? There's simple tools, which I don't need because I've found advanced tools early on. Oh, pry bar, that's good. I don't remember if we already had one of those or not. Yep, I checked out all that stuff. Let's go in here, and I already stole a storm lantern. Nice. Let's pry open all the stuff we can pry open in here. And why would you lock it with nothing inside? That's absurd. Okay. Pick up the storm lantern. Oh, a full storm lantern. That's quite nice. Search all the drawers here, and then we'll hit these filing cabinets. It's really a grind to search everything in Interloper because you rarely ever find anything, but it is worth it when you do find something like that beef jerky I just got. But you just have to grind through it if you want to play this difficulty. No other option. Because you need the items, the few items that you will find you're going to need. And nothing else. Check the bed. Looks like we've got, maybe, is that a can of soda down there? Oh, maybe it was just a, oh, matches, nice. That's really good, okay. So we just do have the one crowbar. We're gonna drop some of the crafting stuff here right in front of the workbench. So when we go in there to do that, we'll have some cured stuff there in a few days. Oh, there's a whetstone there that I missed before. Just checking to see if those lockers are locked. And I think we're going to call it an episode here, guys. I appreciate you viewing it, and please leave a comment if you have any questions. We're going to start a fire to end the episode, and we'll see you in the next video.